Buddy, welcome back to Position 0, and in this video, you will see some of the worst possible chess games you've ever seen in your life. Now, as a 400 ELO, if you do watch my channel, you probably assume I say that a lot, but when I say it this time, I'm barely exaggerating. I had one grade 3 best and 3 blunders. I will show 3 games for you guys because they're kind of short. One where I win, which is a joke of a win. One where I draw, and one where I lose. We'll go from worst to best. Starting off with the one I lose. We get e4, e5, c3, f6. Now, with the move f6, you don't bring your queen out early. And the fact that I'm teaching this is insane considering how miserably I lost this. Knight to f3. So far, everything's fine. Now, the worst part about this is I lost to someone who develops their knight to h6. That is depressing. Who develops their knight here? There's not even a pawn to cover the square. If there was a pawn, if there was a reason to develop here, like there was a piece attacking this square, or like a piece involved in this square, I would support it, okay? But develop your other knight, man. Why are you developing your h6 knight? c4, c5, d3, g4. At this point, they have an attack going, and I'm kind of scared. I don't know how I let this happen. I'm kind of like... Dude, I don't know. I'm kind of bad at chess. Which is... that's a crazy statement, considering I'm 400... I was 401 ELO when I made this. I finished off as 391. So we're backtracking. We've been stuck at 400 ELO for 6 episodes of this series. This is kind of insane. Pawn here, blocking the bishop, attacking these 2 pieces, defended by the knight and queen. Simple. Pawn takes. Okay. Now, the reason I didn't take with the knight is because we have queen here. And that is simply checkmate. So I cannot take with the knight. But I made a similar mistake later in the game, and that's how I lost the game in the first place. So I get e2. I just retreat my knight rather than taking, of course, because I'm not trying to get checkmated this early on. As I get checkmated 6 moves later, of course. Knight to e5. By the way, this person was almost 100 ELO worse than me, which is kind of a lot for this level. But we get knight to e5, attack the bishop. This is happening, but I did the move bishop to g5. Now, I feel like I could have done this move earlier, but I probably should have just taken here. That would have kind of dissolved the threat a little bit, I think. Because now you don't have this, and the bishop's currently blocked by this pawn, and we could probably do some defensive moves to get out of the situation and continue the game in the first place. But we get c6. Knight takes now. I probably should have taken earlier. Queen takes pawn. I was kind of... This person was worse than me, so I was assuming I'd win this game. But I'm never guessing that again because this was kind of depressing. Pawn to f3. Pawn to d3. Both of my knights are under attack. And this is just terrifying. I'm getting fried by 350 ELO. I never want to say that sentence again in my life. At least be equal value. At least. Pawn takes. Queen here. Now in this position, I played h3. Okay, kicking out the queen. Fine. But on the next move, after queen takes pawn, I genuinely went insane. I got scared because I didn't want to lose any of those 2 pieces. So the following move I made was so terrible, so hideous. I never want to speak of again, which I said in the last video already, but this is worse. Knight to g3. Now, if you can't see the mate in 1 here, I'm sorry, but that's kind of insane. Queen to f2 is mate. And that is exactly what happened. The crazy thing is, black took 33 seconds to find this mate. And I took a minute on that move because I was trying to figure out how to save both of my pieces, but I didn't even look at getting mated. This game was terrible. This game has to be in like top 1,000 worst chess games of all time. This game was hideous. The next one was against someone nearly 200 ELO worse than me. And it ended in a draw. It was a German player. Okay, and for some reason, whenever I hear German player, I always associate, like, I feel like German people are kind of smart now. So I get, like, when you play, like, there's certain European countries and certain Asian countries, when you see their label on chess.com, there's fear that runs down your spine because these people are kind of known for being smart. But we ended in a draw. And the fact that I drew this is so depressing. Now, here's the game. D5. Obviously, white's first. He went D4. Knight to C3. Knight to F6. Pawn to F3. Now, to give you guys some better understanding of this game, I'm going to game review it real fast. Now, as cutting of this video, I think we're on it. I think this was the last move that white had made, which is F3. Now you guys can see the moves that actually went on in this position, and this is just insane. This game is so like, I should have won. Knight to C6. I will turn the volume back on a little bit. Now, knight to C6, it's a good move, like what the bot said. Apparently the best move was C5, but I wouldn't know. Pawn to E4, an excellent move. Attacking the center, building pressure against white. It's amazing. Pawn takes is the best move in this position for black. And white pushes, which is still the best position for black. This is because you can obtain this pawn later on as it's defended by the knight, so this knight can't take back. And you're pushing this knight away, so this knight has to fly back somewhere or up front. But it can't go here, so we get the move knight to E5. Bishop B5 is an inaccuracy. There's better moves in the position. And bishop D7 is an inaccuracy. I don't know what the best move in this position is C6. Simply because it creates more of a bigger threat with pawns rather than just trading off your bishop for no clean purpose, if you get what I mean. Pawn takes E4, bishop takes bishop. And then obviously knight takes, like, immediately. Black is technically up by, like, barely up. It's still a completely even position. But this, I really can't understand how I lost this game. I'm sorry. A6, knight to D4, pawn to G6, and queen to E2. These moves are just insane. Bishop to G7, aligning my bishops to have some potential attack in the future. Bishop D2. At this point, I was so mad that I didn't win this position. Well, obviously I didn't know I would win, but I was mad in a sense that why is he developing like this? Who develops their bishop like? It's weird. Nobody develops like this, and his pieces aren't very developed at all. His king isn't castled, so it's not a good position to be in either. We get to move pawn to C6. Pawn takes. Pawn takes. And then the knight falls back to B3. I castled my king. And bishop goes to A5. Now the bishop is attacking my queen, which is obviously a good move. Queen can't take because it's defended by the knight. So I go queen to D6, which was the best move in the position because I just wanted to gain structure with the rest of my pieces. He goes rook to D1, which is a fine move. I retreat my queen to B8. Knight to F3, finally developing the knight. And we get a knight trade-off. And I retreat this knight. Now, the idea of retreating this knight was to open up my bishop's view. Holy, I can't speak up. And the idea is to win this pawn. That was my idea, of course. We get to move d8, which is an excellent move for black, but I don't really like this move. It doesn't do much. I retreat my queen. Obviously, I can't take because the bishop is defending it on a5. The queen moves here. Now, I don't really... The queen is just trying to give support for this. And somehow, I'm up 2 points of material, which, of course, I did not succeed in winning. Bishop takes the pawn. Rook takes rook. Queen takes rook. Castles. Now, those moves alone were kind of insane. d6, rook to d1. Now, from this position, I thought white was winning. But apparently, I'm still up like a point and a half worth of material. The reason I saw white was winning is because there's just so much pressure compiled onto this. But, especially with the bishop looking on d8. But when you look at it carefully, you have a queen and a rook defending the back rank. The king has an escape square, and this knight is defended by the pawn. There's no real way for white to fully infiltrate this position and defenses can easily come in, and maybe the bishop can even do something, who knows. So we get to move bishop to e5 in this position, which I don't hate at all from me. Idea is as I said before, I was scared of this knight. There was too much pressure on it. I just wanted it to be protected. Simple as that. The next moves were a bit interesting. I simply tried to pin the knight to the king. He played the top computer move, which is bishop b4, defending the knight from the pin and not putting the queen at risk. Rook to d8 was an inaccuracy, and I lost a lot of my advantage from that move. Queen takes pawn was the best move, free pawn. I took the queen, knight takes, and now I was kind of happy, even though my position is technically gotten worse than what it was, which is insane. The only reason I was happy is because the queen is what was creating the pressure. Now I have the availability to do stuff. Now this part, it's not really interesting. The knight did find the best move in the position, and we did get a couple things with bishop taking stuff, knight takes back, and we end off in this position. Now, I did kind of sell here. I did this. Knight takes, pawn takes. We are now in a rook versus rook endgame. I first was aiming at these pawns. I checked the king for a bit. King hid for me to check, so I went here protecting this pawn from this rook. Now, the thing is, the reason I'm so mad I lost in the first place is one, this guy is 250. If you go online and search 250s playing chess, this video is worse than this game. Maybe not worse than the last game. That was horrendous. But maybe there's probably videos much worse than this game. Now, I never want to look at this game again after this video, so feel free to do whatever with this video. Pawn to f5, which is actually an excellent move. It's completely even now. It might even think it's a draw. If anything, white is up 1/10 of a pawn. Wow. Pawn goes here, which was an excellent move. Obviously, I take, pawn takes, pawn pushes. And I thought I was winning here because I had like tempo with these three pawns. These two pawns were separated, and this pawn can't really stop three pawns along with the king, especially if I get my rook involved. So pawn pushes, rook defends these pawns. Pawn to f4 was played. King goes here, and then I go here. Now his moves are restricted relatively, and after this move, all of his moves will be restricted. Pawn to e6 was an excellent move, but no one has actually played the best move in the position yet. Rook takes. The rook takes this pawn here. And after I went f7, he tried to win this pawn. But I wasn't going to let that slide. So instead I played the best move, which is... Actually, it says king e7 was best, but I think this is the best. I like f6. Idea is you can't take this pawn or else I'll take. So you kind of have to take the rook or retreat it somewhere else. But Yeah. This is why I'm sad I lost the game. What in the world is C6 in this position? C6 is just like, this is the type of game even Gotham Chess would review. Like, what is this game? Who on earth plays C6? Literally nobody. Nobody on the... this is the only guy that might play C6. Like, he might have actually been playing better than me for at least a good chunk of this game. And this is why I'm mad I lost the game. Rook takes, pawn pushes, and now this is just gone. There's a mate in 13 on the board, and I somehow missed this completely. If anything, I probably should have just been checking or trying something out. Maybe blocking the king from going here. Literally anything. But I took the pawn. King takes pawn. I go here, trying to go here. But now I'm a bit confused because I don't know how to play this. And that's when I played a move f2. Now f2 is an insane move, and now this game is destined to be a draw, which is what it would become. My idea was f2 was try to lure the king away. That was the idea. But after king takes, I realized just how bad of a move that was. Because after pawn pushes, that and that, this would simply be a draw. But that's not how this game ended. After the rook went to f2, this game is just so insane, I can barely talk. King takes, I push my king, he runs back, I push my king again, then we get to move king to h2, I hide behind the pawn, king to h1, king to g2, I'm just trying to promote my pawn. The only move here is king to g1. Straightforward. I push my pawn. Now, unless he went here, I would have won. But of course, that's not what happened. He blocked me. And now this game is destined to be a draw. I went here, forcing the draw. And that was it. Here's the final game for you. It's 4 moves long. This is the only game I won. And this is just why I'm so mad at myself today. I hadn't played chess in a while, like proper chess against real people in a while, but this was just depressing. At least I got some of my ELO back. That's the good news at the end of the day. This guy was from Algeria, rated 270. D4, D5, E3, F6, C3, C6. Now the next move in this position was so horribly horrific. Now, the crazy thing was I was thinking about going bishop to g4 on the next move. I was hoping he would just like develop a knight or something and not see that his queen was hanging. But he did the job for me. This move that white took 30 seconds on playing was queen to g4. There's no words for just how bad 200 to 400 ELO chess is. I obviously snagged that queen and he resigns. Chess is genuinely insane. Don't be 400 ELO. Just don't.